It is another episode of Des and Jeff Watch Stuff. We're going to talk about a movie that I didn't even know existed.
I can't stop smelling. This is so good.
It is. Okay, we on one of our later shows, we did a little experimentation. We made what's called a Stormy IPA, which is part IPA, part ginger beer, and a shot of rum. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay,
all right,
continue.
Let's talk about Kevin Smith's newest movie, the 4:30 movie. I didn't even know he was doing this. I've always been a big fan of his since like.
Me too.
Since he started. I mean, like, I know you had a crush on him.
Had.
Okay, you still do. But you lived like that in the street from him for a while. You could have hooked up with him if you wanted to.
I missed my chance.
Apparently you did. Anyway, anyone that knows me knows this guy is a huge part of how I ended up where I'm at right now, because when his first movie came out, Clerks, it was pretty much about my life. Like, I watched this movie when it first came out. Actually, thank you, Brendan Silliman, for getting us a copy of the original movie from a friend of a friend that knew Kevin somehow. We watched this, and I was like, oh my God. First of all, that counts as a movie. I could do that. Second of all, I'm like, the characters in that movie reflected who I was at that time. I was 22 years old, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Selling dope outside the convenience store?
I was not Jay. I was more Dante than anybody. I wanted to be Randall, but I was Dante. I was Dante to a T. Yes. And pretty much everything that happened to Dante, I could relate to, like, a lot. So I fell in love with those characters, with that universe, and I watched pretty much everything Kevin Smith has done. Some of it's better than others, I'll say that. You know, he's not one without misses. Tusk was a miss for me. I didn't really like that at all. But most of them, Yoga Hosers, I thought was really bad. But most of it has been like, I can watch them. They're good. Everything he's done, I really like. I like the guy too. I could listen to him talk. He does have a gift for gab, which is great. So, I didn't even know he was working on this movie, actually. Kind of life kind of gets busy, and, I wasn't keeping up with what he was doing, because for a while there, he was just doing podcasts, and he was just doing other stuff besides film.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, this movie was out.
Yeah, and this movie, it takes place in the 80s, so it's a period piece. It's pretty correct as far as, like, what it looks like. I know you haven't watched it yet.
No, but I would expect that from him.
Yeah,
those details are important to him.
It's actually a prequel to Clerks.
Okay.
I won't give away how they tie into the View Askew universe. He has his shared universe that almost all his movies exist in the same universe. Kind of like what John Hughes used to do.
Yes.
With his string of movies back in the 80s. And comic books do that all the time. And Marvel does it. Marvel movies now. Everything has to be a shared universe. But this exists in the same universe, and I won't tell you why because it'll spoil it, but there's a nice connection. And some of the usual people in his movies, they show up as cameos, but it's new. It's like all new characters, and it's basically based on him. It's him as a young kid, like 15, 16 years old maybe. They go to a movie theater. They're going to the movies. Like, it's all about movies and stuff, and there's a lot of, like, jabs at, like, kind of 80s movies and stuff, and 80s culture and stuff, and weird stuff like that. But it's about three friends. It spoke to me because these three friends, I knew three friends like this. I knew these people. And I believe they're roughly based on his friends from junior high or high school. The one guy, I'm not even going to say who he reminds me of, but
I think I know.
No, I don't think you do, but there's one guy that he really reminds me of a certain person in my childhood or teenage years. I have no ill will against this person. It's just, it was like...
It's not who I'm thinking.
No, it's not. But it was really good. It was sweet. It was like super bad, but nowhere near as raunchy. I'll use that word, raunchy and gross and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't. It was. There's a few, there's a few, dirty kind of jokes and stuff, but overall it was sweet, and it's about the main character who is a stand-in for Kevin, basically, trying to get this girl he really, really likes, and like he had a little fling with her, and like the summer before, and she never left his mind, so he's trying to get her to come to the 4:30 movie. And all the stuff kind of he's struggling to get to the 4:30 movie basically, and hilarity ensues and all that stuff. It's good though. It's sweet. That's the only way I can describe this movie. It's very sweet, especially at the end.
Does he get the girl?
Well, you have to watch the movie.
Okay.
Of course he gets the girl. But not in the way you would think. It's
never in the way you expect.
It's very good. It's a very good movie, and I will watch it again. And that's kind of rare for me right now, that I will watch a movie a second time. And like after I got done watching it, I think I wanted to. You were already sleeping. I wanted to wake you up, and be like, we're gonna watch this. So I've been telling you for the last 2 weeks, you gotta watch it. Make some time, and it's a short movie too. I think it's under an hour and a half. So it's not like a 3.5 hour movie where I'm gonna take time off of work to watch it. And it's good. It's funny. Some things I wish were fleshed out a little bit more, like the relationship he had with this young girl before the movie started. Like there's a little bit of that in the beginning, but when we get to the point in the movie where he's calling her up and asking her out and stuff, it's like I don't really know. Like what what happened the summer before, but it just isn't. There's not enough of it. There's not enough of that. The backstory for me personally. Maybe I missed it, but it's good. And there's a lot of 80s jokes and jabs at pop culture and stuff and all that stuff. It's great. It's not his best work. Nowhere near his worst though. So.
All right, I'll have to check it.
Since I really like Kevin and his movies, I'll give it a 7.
Oh, okay.
Good high 6, low 7. I'll say 6.8 to 7, depending on how I feel.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
I think you should.
Instead of binge watching Three's Company, which I've been watching at 4 in the morning, mostly because I was Mrs. Roper for Halloween this year.
Yeah, our Night of 1,000 Beers party. Yeah. You were.
I was Mrs. Roper. So yeah, maybe instead of
watching
that.
What did I call you, Blanche from the Golden Girls?
Yes. You did.
Okay.
Yeah. Watch the movie instead.
Yeah, 4:30 movie. I recommend it for anyone that likes 80s teenage comedies, or Kevin Smith movies. It is a return to form for him. It's nothing like out in left field, like Red State, the kind of religious horror movie he did, Red State. That was the best thing he did. That was out of his wheelhouse. It's way better than Tusk. It's way better than Yoga Hosers. Not as good as Clerks 3, but it's good. All right, that's it. It's time to eat and drink more.